Where's Kendrick Lamar all time as an MC?
Do we have LL at number 10?
We did.
So here's the
Let's just go
conversation
ahead and
we
list them. Let's go ahead and list them. Is
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar better than Tupac? Would you put him ahead of Tupac?
Have you not just heard I was talking about All Eyes on Me?
All right, so you got Tupac ahead.
Does he have
Is Kendrick better than Biggie? Just based on his body of work and based on his lyrical skill, based on the songs that he's put together, based on his career so far, is you got Kendrick ahead of Biggie? No? What if someone says Biggie has two albums, Coop?
No,
And
that's what
Kendrick,
everybody says, and I'm going to say this to everybody that understands this. I want people to understand this. This is how great and how epic this man is. That off the strength of two albums, remixes, guest appearances, and Junior Mafia projects, he belongs in this conversation because he created the type of catalog in about a 3 or 4 year period that most people, if you look at their careers in the same 3 to 4 year gaps, they couldn't even fuck with him on their best day. If he would have lived, he probably would be the greatest MC of all time. And it probably wouldn't be much of a conversation if he kept on trending the way that he was trending. He belongs every day of the week, backwards, forwards. There's not a, like, I don't know if Jay and Nas to this day have 20 better songs. To this day, you understand what I am saying?
yeah, Memphis Bleak was saying that the only person that could see Jay in the verses.
No.
Memphis said that the only person that could see Jay in the verses is Biggie, and Biggie only got two albums.
Look here. Biggie's catalog still got Nas and Jay shook up on the top half of it. You feel me? Like the top half, high end of it. Yeah, he can still shake them down in a verses. He ain't even been here the last 25 years. Yeah, it's like that.
Shout out to Jamar with the super chat. He says, besides his place in life, do either of you think that the poster affects his approach on this album? I think so. I think that it sounds like Kendrick's approach is definitely a post-Pulitzer Prize post. I was telling Coop offline, like, sounds like he's trying to win a
Nobel Prize?
not a Nobel Prize. What is it when you're on Broadway?
Tony.
A Tony, yeah. Sounds like he's trying to win a Tony with this album.
No, I told you, this album is a play. Yeah, this album is a play. Yeah. Okay, how about this? And here's where I don't like. People immediately go to Big and Pac because they died and because of the brevity of the catalog. So, do we want to make this a living list or just an all-time list with everybody involved?
I think we could do a little bit of both. I mean, when we talk about all time, you talk about all time.
Right. Well, let's just get it straight. Like, he's not better than Big or Pac all time. I don't care what the brevity of catalog looks like. Even with his 5 albums, like you can go through
even
his
with
5
Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, and Mr. Morale.
Listen to what I'm saying. If we were to line Biggie's 30 best songs up, and he don't got a lot. If we were to line Biggie's 30 best songs up with Kendrick's 30 best songs, you understand Kendrick probably catching the fade on about 20, 25 records, right? You understand that, right?
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying?
Do you think it's a straight up MC? Like, you see both of them rhyming on the block. Well, who are you picking?
Biggie's the most versatile MC who ever lived. And his second voice is better than Kendrick's second and third voice. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, he got him beat every which way. Like Kendrick is only he's a more intricate writer, and he expresses the black struggle. Biggie Smalls does not do that. But every other box checks Biggie.
So we got Nas and Jay-Z ahead of Kendrick, right?
Yes.
All right, Rakim.
Yeah.
Peace to the God. All right. Now where are we at now?
We're at Ice Cube, Ghostface, and Scarface. And
okay.
KRS.
All right. Now here's the discussions.
Yep. Because he's not top 5. Because I just gave you top 5.
Is he better than Ice Cube?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to quibble with you
and
about.
Ice Cube is one of my favorite rappers ever.
Because you're more of an Ice Cube fan than I am. How do you feel about his catalog, content, rhetoric, and classic statics-wise in reference to Cube? Because Cube's got America's Most, Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, and The Predator. And he's got Straight Outta Compton.
Mm-hmm. And
And West Side Connections album, which is a classic West Coast album. That's actually a rap classic to me. West Side Connections album is a rap classic to me.
yeah,
And so
he has a good day, and he has Kill It Will.
I forgot about Killer Will. See, it's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, how about this? The thing with Cube and Kendrick, it's like, well, how you really feel about Kendrick's albums? Because what I would tell you is that Ice Cube's albums are better.
The problem with Cube,
because he got that
in relation to Kendrick,
checking all the boxes. Cube be checking every last box.
You're right. The problem with Cube in relation to Kendrick is we experienced the fall off, where we haven't in Kendrick yet.
I don't really know if we experienced the fall off.
Well, you know what I mean. It ain't even. It's sad to say it like this.
We only got one album that wasn't up to standard to what he hadn't done, and guess what? That was about a 5-year break? Wasn't that a 4-year break?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to give Kendrick credit for like coming back better, because War and Peace don't have shit on Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper. Hold on, wasn't War and Peace a 2-disc set?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have nothing on this. But that's why I said, well, how do you feel about those first 4 projects though? Because this is what I mean about checking boxes. I don't want anybody from the West Coast to lie about this, and I want people from the West Coast to chime in on this. Whoever we got this watching on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me y'all be out there playing the stuff from Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn more than you play the stuff from America's Most and Death Certificate and Lethal Injection and Straight Outta Compton. And that's what I'm talking about checking those boxes. What boxes is he even checking in his own neighborhood when you got somebody like Cube to go up against in this all-time conversation? Is To Pimp a Butterfly better than America's Most Wanted or Death Certificate? Is Good Kid, Mad City better? Because what I would tell you is that as much as I love Good Kid, Mad City, I would probably give Death Certificate the edge. And you probably would too.
Yeah. And even songs that are like on the back end, like Young Nigga Doing Dumb Shit, like those are brilliant records that don't even get talked about on Death Certificate.
He's brilliant.
Like that.
He's
a
brilliant
bird in the hand.
Hold on, you're the one that turned me and got me off the fact it's like, Coop, America's Most, even Cube's best album is actually Death Certificate because he's a better MC. And I went back and listened to it and I'm like, Mike is right. He's
True
actually
to the game. Colorblind. Yeah. No Vaseline's on there.
No Vaseline. Yeah.
Nigga you love to hate. Black Korea.
You love to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Good Kid, Mad City's not as good as Death Certificate. And I don't think
even that song where he's going through the hospital after he got shot. That shit is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, so hold on. So Cube's top level is just as good as your top level, if not better. He checks more boxes and connects more. Hello.
You know, I think on a rapidy rap level, and I'm not saying this on a disrespectful way.
Kendrick's a better lyricist.
Kendrick is a better rapidy rapper. But is he a better writer than Cube consistently? Because Cube has some really great writing moments, like I was talking about.
Where do you think some of Kendrick's rhetoric comes from? Like it's straight out of like Tupac and Ice Cube's handbook. And so that's what I'm saying. He's a more detail-oriented writer than Ice Cube and Tupac. That does not make you a better writer. That makes you a more detail-oriented writer. That's why I said no. Off this album, we'll put him in that all-time great writers conversation. Ice Cube, Nas, Scarface, Tupac. No. He's in that conversation as a writer. As an MC, I would still have him after those guys.
Nas the GOAT says, is K-Dot's catalog better than Tupac and Cube's?
It's better than Tupac's. It's not better than Cube's.
Is it better than Tupac's, though? Because the same thing you said for Biggie, I think could go for Pac, too. If Kendrick sat there in a verses with Pac, he would have a time on his hands. Now, I think with Kendrick, what we're talking about album for album. But like you said, we got to pull these songs out.
That's why, okay, so that goes to one of those things. Kendrick's a better album maker than Pac, but he's not a better song maker than Pac. And so when you start pulling those songs out, so how about this? Kendrick, even for whatever I think, okay, Overly Dedicated in Tupac's catalog is still better than Tupacalypse Now. And probably on par with Strictly for My Niggas, because Strictly for My Niggas is brilliant but inconsistent. Mm-hmm. But if you want to have like that Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, Volume 1 and 2 Machiavelli conversation, he's right there. And he connects. he connects in a way that Kendrick never has connected. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm saying he is better because part of this rap shit is connecting to your audience and your listener.
Where the California love at? Where the Live and Die in LA at?
Damn all that. Where the Brenda's Got a Baby at? With all these black themes that you express so beautifully. You don't even have a Brenda's Got a Baby. That was Pac's first shot. He wasn't even the writer that he became then.
Keep your head up. Where's that at?
Yeah. Where, that's what I'm saying. It's like, well, no, he's not better than Pac. Because Pac is expressing the same black themes, but you're connected to it. And though it seems heaven sent, we ain't ready to have a black president. Yeah.
Mad Max says today was a good day. It's better than K-Dot's catalog. Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have the songs that measure himself on the high end of this conversation. When you start talking about Biggie and Pac and Cube, they have the songs, they have the catalog, and Cube and Pac's place, they got the equal rhetoric and subject matter. It's who you grew up on and got your content and your subject matter from.
You know what? Let's address the elephant in the room. I think the thing is that Kendrick makes albums better than most MCs all time ever did. But where his shortcomings come from is he doesn't have those individual songs that match the accolades of his albums, which makes him unique and very hard to compare. And I think that even when we talked about Busta Rhymes earlier, Busta Rhymes is the inverse of that, where Busta Rhymes has the big songs, but not the albums that people hold high culturally.
So this is exactly what I was about to say. So because of those things, well, I think you can put him ahead of somebody like Busta Rhymes. But you can't put him ahead of LL, and we got LL at 10. LL's got singles that are larger than Kendrick Lamar's albums in terms of their weight and influence in the hip-hop sphere. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We'll get to LL in a second. Mike H says, everybody sleeps on Thug Life. Yeah, that was a dope album.
Thug Life Volume 1 was dope, too.
Yeah.
Pour Out a Little Liquor on Above the Rim. Where's the Pour Out a Little Liquor?
Incredible record. All right, so we're putting Ice Cube ahead of him, right?
Duh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like for some of these dudes, it's like, how about this? It doesn't even become a conversation for me till we kind of get to Ghost.
I love Ghost, and I think everybody who knows me knows Ghost is probably my favorite MC. I don't want to be biased here, but see, again, you know what makes this different? The Wu-Tang stuff.
Ghost got that Wu-Tang.
The Purple tape makes this different too.
No, it ain't just. No, it's not just this. This is what I'm saying. He said it on the Champ on Fifth Scale. Back east, I'm an MC king. Since Cuban, Pretty Tone, Iron Man, Bulletproof, and Supreme. He didn't even bring up the Wu-Tang albums. He just went to the Ray and Ghost shit.
His performance on Wu-Tang Forever is epic. It's a coming out party.
His performance is epic. Everything that he did, pretty much post Enter the Wu-Tang up until Fish Scale, is epic, Mike. Everything. Like Iron Man. But
what makes this a conversation is, what makes this an interesting conversation is the fact that he doesn't have the smash hit songs that, let's say, like a LL or, Ice Cube or whatever may have in their catalog. Whereas I think that's what made it really tough for Kendrick to jump ahead of some of the people that we mentioned before.
Well, no, there's something that kind of needs to be discussed that's an elephant in the room too, and that's the fact that of all these top-notch guys, Kendrick's best album is as good as their best album because it's Good Kid, Mad City better than Supreme Clientele.
I don't think so.
No. The answer is, that's what I'm saying. And so when you start putting him into these conversations where it's this high, it's like, oh, no. Like, you could put him in that room, but understand who he is in that room.
Do you think that you will be able to convince somebody who grew up on Kendrick that Ghost is better than Kendrick?
Probably not. But
because people in the chat are saying that we're changing the criteria, and I don't want to do that. We want to be consistent, and we want to make sure that we're fair and balanced here.
No. So let's be fair and balanced. So let's say you're calling, let's say that Good Kid, Mad City is considered a hip hop classic, right?
Right.
And let's say To Pimp a Butterfly is considered a hip hop classic, right?
Yeah.
And Damn. Okay?
I guess over time, Damn has reached that. Yeah.
Okay. And let's say you even feel that way about Section 80, so he has 4. Okay? Listen to what I'm about to say, and this is why it's like, well, no, we're not tripping. Well, is Iron Man a classic?
Yeah.
Is Supreme Clientele a classic?
Yep.
Bulletproof Wallets a classic?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Some people do. Do you think the Fish Scale is a classic?
I don't think Fish Scale's a classic.
Okay, so let's say right now, Ghost has 2 identifiable classics.
Well, I do think Only Built for Cuban Links is a classic. And
no, we haven't got there yet. No. We're going there. That's what I'm saying. Let's keep on addressing it so people understand. So we don't. So I don't look like I'm saying get off my lawn. So we got Iron Man and Supreme right there, right? Mm-hmm. You think Supreme's better than Good Kid, Mad City, which is? Do you think Supreme's better than anything Kendrick Lamar's ever made? Yes or no?
I do. I mean, it's one of the best albums I think it's probably the best hip hop album of the 2000s, in my opinion.
I could still. You still have valid claim when you say that. So he's got Iron Man. He's got Supreme. There's this whole thing that he co-authored called the Purple Tape. Not just 1, but 2.
Yeah. Forgot about the second one. Yeah.
There's that whole Wu-Tang Forever thing, right?
Yeah.
There's that whole Enter the Wu-Tang thing, right?
Yeah. So and for those that are saying it's unfair that we mention those, it's not unfair. That's their work. You know what's unfair is people putting Andre 3000 in their top 10 just on Outkast work. But y'all want to sit here and talk like the group efforts don't work for the people who are solo artists. Like, come on, what are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so Andre's top 10 with no solo material, but Ghost got 2 solo classics, 2 other great albums.
And people in here are saying Fish Scale is a classic, so.
I feel like Fish Scale is a classic too. I told you I think Fish Scale is a classic.
I like the Pretty Tony LP.
Ghost shit go like this to me. Supreme, Iron Man, Fish Scale, Bulletproof, Pretty Tony, and I think the first 3 are classic, and the next 2 are borderline. Yeah. And that's not counting the Purple Tape. The Purple Tape 2, Enter the Wu-Tang, and Wu-Tang Forever, and people acting like Kendrick. Like the question is how much classic material has Kendrick done in relationship to what's Ghost done? Not the other way around. You see how people try to change the narrative? It ain't about how much classic shit Ghost done. It's like, no, has Kendrick done the classic shit that Ghost has done? Not the other way around.
I can't believe people are in here talking about you can't count the group stuff when there's a nigga that y'all sit here and only count his group shit for his whole legacy. It's crazy. What are we talking about? So just because somebody was able to go out there successfully and have a successful solo career, their group stuff doesn't matter anymore. But for the other guy who has no solo career and only group stuff, his group stuff is his catalog. That's wild.
Hold on. Here's how you know that people are being biased, and this is exactly what I'm about to tell people. You can't go to the group stuff. Tell me what hip-hop looks like without Enter the Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang Forever, and the Purple Tape.
Mad Max with the super chat says, if songs make the album, hold on, the chat's going fast right now. Hold on, let me get to his super chat. I want to get to it.
That is off the chain. That is off the chain.
Mad Max says, if songs make albums, why is Kendrick's albums held so high? No disrespect to him. I don't play one album of his as much as I play Illuminati album by Pop. Or It Was Written.
Facts.
So many K-Dot got like 4 classics. Yeah, people say K-Dot got 4 classics. And again, I think we're appreciating like the way that it was crafted, the way it was put together. But when you start breaking these things apart, how well would it play in, let's say, like a versus type format? And I guess people will say, well, he doesn't make music for that, but the other people did all of the things. Mad Max corrected himself. He said he does not have 4 classics.
No, he doesn't. But what I keep trying to say is that if you actually just look at Ghost's solo catalog, because I feel just like this. Ghost got 3 classics. Kendrick got 3 classics. And they both have 2 dope projects right after it that are borderline. But then there's this whole Purple Tape thing in Wu-Tang Forever and Enter the Wu-Tang.
We can't act like those things didn't happen. And like you said,
with trying to act like Wu-Tang Forever didn't happen. Like Ghost verse on Impossible didn't happen. Right. Like Ghost in Criminology and on Ice Water and on Glaciers of Ice like didn't happen. No. That happened. Ghost on Can It All Be So Simple happened.
I'll tell you this. if Method Man does a versus, and Ghostface did one too, him and Raekwon, you gonna tell Method Man he can't play Wu-Tang songs that he made a big impact on?
You sound.
Right. That's part of his catalog and their catalog. So I guess he can't do METHOD. He can't go out there and do his verse from Triumph or whatever.
Right. Hold on. Ghost just out-rapped Kendrick on his own album.
Xavier Logistics says Kendrick is the Billie Eilish. 1, amazing talent and creativity. 2, mid music. 3, insufferable fan base. Not the Billie Eilish of hip-hop.
I'm about to jump in the queue. Who is Billie Eilish? I'm jumping back.
The singer. You know who Billie Eilish is. All right. So we're putting Ghostface ahead of him.
Yeah, listen.
Scarface.
Did he not just get done out-rapping him on his own album? Kendrick is like Ghost is like a whole era before Kendrick. He just out-rapped him on this album.
Well, I don't think Kendrick really tried on the record, but
hey, don't nobody care about all that, Mike. Like
listen, you know me, man. I think that Ghost is a better rapper than Kendrick. Anyway, I mean that's just me.
He is a better rapper, and he has the catalog to prove it.
Yeah,
And for whatever Kendrick is as a storyteller, this album just got him in Ghost level as a storyteller. Like now you're in Ghost territory as a storyteller. Like welcome to the club of this detail-oriented story writing. Because Ghost is the most detail-oriented of all the storytellers.
He is. Salt Rain, Saltwater Tab, Iron Man, Bubble Bath, Nucleus, split the atom in half. Dumb It Down says, y'all seeing how illogical the Kendrick stands are.
Some of
they won't be happy unless you put them in the top 5. And y'all encouraging having this conversation. K-Dot is overrated. Well, sometimes we have to break these things down and discuss them.
Somebody said put Ghostface above Kendrick as an MC, but not as an artist, please. Yes, but this is hip hop, and we talking about MC.
Yeah, we're talking about an MC list here.
Right. So it's the greatest MCs of all time, not the greatest artists of all time.
That's a whole nother conversation because at that point, Kanye's number 1.
And Lupe gets way, way higher up on this list, and people start falling down like Biggie and Jay.
Yeah, because if you want to talk about best hip hop artists, no one's even competing with Kanye.
Conversation over.
Yeah. Shout out to Reggie with the super chat. He says, can you and Coop do a show listing your top 25 MCs and providing the best verse from each, then comparing the 2 lists and let the chat vote on it? I like that idea.
I love that
Let me go ahead and save this.
Yep, write that down. Take a picture.
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of this.
You should take a photograph.
Good stuff.
Remember Chameleonaire song Photograph? That was the jam.
Not Chameleonaire.
Yeah, Photograph was the jam.
Hey,
I think Bun was on there. Bun was on there. Bun B's on Photograph. Yeah, snapping. Yeah.
All right, so we got Tupac ahead of him, Biggie ahead of him, Nas ahead of him, Jay-Z ahead of him, Rakim, Ice Cube, Ghostface. That's 7. So, Scarface, anybody?
I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would right now talk about his catalog, because this is where he's not better than Scarface. His number 1 attribute is Scarface's number 1 attribute. And Scarface has the better voice, is the better storyteller, and has him in spades on what he does best, which is put an album together from beginning to end. I wish a motherfucker would. Right
I want to ask the people in the chat, because I already know where you stand, Coop. Who's the better MC all time, Kendrick Lamar or Scarface?
Right now. Because we're going to run down Scarface's whole catalog.
Let's run it down. Shit. Yeah. I mean, because we got Overly Dedicated here, right? We got Section 80, because I was skipping Overly Dedicated. Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly. He going to need Untitled, Unmastered for this. And Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
That's what he got? No.
That's what we got.
That's not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it.
Let me see. Kendrick Lamar is not better than Scarface. Next. Yes, Face is better than Kendrick Lamar. Scarface.
Right.
Kendrick. Scarface don't get his flowers. Y'all capping right now. Face easy. Mr. H says Kendrick. Rigor Ross says Scarface top 5.
Possibly. I got the number 6
Scarface. Kendrick.
Right.
Both faces are better than K-Dot.
Damn right.
Kendrick. I saw Lil Wayne's name pop up.
No. We can talk about Wayne. Wayne's not
talk about Wayne.
No. What we're going to talk about is Mr. Scarface is back. The Diary. The Untouchable, My Homies, The Last of a Dying Breed, The Fix, My Homies Part 2, Made, Emeritus, Deeply Rooted. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what an album career sounds like. There's not a bad project on his album catalog. And people understand this man has been around since the late 80s. There's not a bad album on his solo catalog. He's never made a bad album.
Antonio says y'all should put Reggie's idea in the 22 yearbook. We should. Or do a whole separate book of notes. Yeah, for the people in the room, go get the yearbook. It's on Amazon. Just put in according to hip hop. Both yearbooks are there, 2020 and 2021. And yeah, we're creating 2022 right now with all this great content that we're getting.
Well, we're gonna hold on. I just saw Leroy said, yeah, because Pac died, so you view him different. No. Was you outside when Pac was outside? Because let me tell you something about when Pac was outside. Jay and Big and Nas didn't have shit on Pac when Pac was outside. How about that?
The thing is, man, when you listen to Pac's records...
Leroy up here talking crazy now. That's crazy.
When you listen to Pac's records, they age so well.
You remember All Eyes on Me? Like, you know why Life After Death got made, fool? Like, come on.
Yeah, no. Pac's on a different level, man.
You know who the real trendsetter in the 90s is, right? It ain't Big and Pac. I mean, it ain't Big and Nas and Jay because they all took from that guy.
Yeah, no, it's for real. And it's not because Pac's no longer here. I mean, you could see Pac's influence on Biggie, straight up. And I know a lot of New Yorkers don't want to admit that.
Pac's whole steez is Biggie's steez. Make a joint for the streets that the fellas can gravitate to. Make a joint for the ladies that they can party to. Yeah. Biggie even talks about how he got that formula from Pac. Stop that. And where'd Jay get his formula from, by the way?
Well,
right.
He got his from Big.
Hold up. Wait, might have some truth going on right here.
What's going on?
This motherfucker would understand.
Hold on. Yeah, people are talking about the yearbook. Yeah, I mean, I think not everybody is aware of the yearbook. Let me make sure that we got that in the description. Because somebody said, I can't wait for y'all second one. This is about to be the third one that we're creating.
The third one. We already got two. We got 2020 and 2021.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put all that in the description where you guys can get to it. But while that's loading up.
You remember Homies and Thugs? Remember Homies and Thugs with Master P and Tupac?
Listen, man, the thing is, when you listen to Pac's music, and you can say whatever you want or whatever, you listen to his music and how well it's aged, this stuff, it's not stuff that anybody's coming up with. Like, this is special. This is timeless.
So he creatively is really a genius. If you want to talk about somebody being a creative genius and not pulling from somebody and conceptually coming up with his own thoughts and making it brilliant classic material, yeah, Pac.
He was pulling from Marvin Gaye. He was pulling from things that weren't hip-hop.
No, like, he was pulling from Prince, too. Like, when he's talking about, now everybody wants to get the ladder. That was a song from Around the World in the Day, The Ladder. Everybody wants to climb the ladder. Like, yeah, he was pulling from soul artists. Yeah.
All right. So, we got Cube, Face, and Face. Where do you stand on this KRS-One thing? Yeah, I know, man.
This is going to be... Okay, so... I think we both realize KRS-One is a superior MC to LL, which is kind of why KRS is ahead, and because KRS has more classic solo material album-wise, and still has enough classic solo singles to be viable. So what I would say is, how heavy is the weight of KRS's crown right now? Like how do people really feel about the first two BDP albums? Because like I said, actually, this is the first guy to make classic, I think, group material and then solo material. Like, he's the first to do that. He's the first guy to be part of a group and have classic solo material with the group, and then have the classic solo material as well. MC wise, lyrically, he is, on a Rakim and Nas and Black Thought level. He's got records.
Well, the BDP stuff is just him as an MC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, technically you could go to that. Yeah. I mean, even if you wanted to classify it that way, but Boogie Down Productions is still a group, and most of the classic stuff that he's known for, as far as it being considered classic, comes from there. You know what I'm saying? But he also has Return to Boom Bap. He has the KRS-One album. He has I Got Next.
Yep.
KRS-One's been around forever, and I mean, he's the creator of the 10-bar rhyme style. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Hold on. I'm about to put the yearbook in the chat real quick. We got the digital version, and we actually got the paperback version. I want to know, for the people in the chat, Who y'all got? KRS or Kendrick? Nas the GOAT says, I feel that it's based on eras. This era may not feel the 80s and the 90s music, just like the old era may not feel this era's music.
I
It's
feel Kendrick's
subjective.
music, though. That's not fair. See, that's not fair when you say that,
But
because
it
it's
hits
like,
you different, though, when it hits you in your formative years, though. You know what I mean?
yeah, it does. I can't love Good Kid, Mad City the way that I love Illmatic because of the time in my life that it came out. But I always contextualize it in the same regard because of.
It's
So I
hard to do
understand.
so.
No, but I understand what people may be going through when they're hearing this stuff, and that's why it's like, well, even when I went back to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, it's like, okay, well, let's go to All Eyes on Me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, let's go and look back at his predecessor in terms of content and subject matter. And because I think even when it comes to like how he puts together songs, he's more Tupac-like than even Nas-like, if that makes sense. You know
You're
what I'm
mad
saying?
close to the camera right now. I don't know if you can
I'm
see
sorry.
that. That's all good. Jay Short says, younger fans need to stop complaining about nostalgia. If you want hip hop credibility, make hip hop albums. You want to do something different, cool. But you got to do rap for rap credibility.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
right. This is what I mean about checking the boxes. He's speaking to what I'm talking about when I'm checking the boxes. Is like, don't come into this game emceeing and then make it to a place of notoriety and be like, oh, I don't want to MC anymore. MCing is not important. It's like, yes, it is. It's how you got here. It's how you made your keep. It's how you earned your bones. That's why I loved hearing him rap the way that he rapped on Damn, because like, To Pimp a Butterfly was so glorified and considered to be so socially conscious and politicized. It's like, nigga, just go rap your ass off. Like, are you the best rapper? And on Damn, it's like, oh no, he's the best rapper, and I can hear him rapping his ass off like it.
It looks like people are putting Kendrick over KRS. Antonio with the super chat says, everyone claims we're being nostalgic with the rankings, needs to do their homework. Witnessing the past and the current material shaping these conversations. Yeah. Let me go ahead.
Reggie just brought up that KRS-One verse on Mad Isms. See, that's what I'm saying. KRS-One is so rooted in the fundamentals of hip hop, in the history of hip hop in a way that Kendrick isn't. And let's go back to this catalog thing once again, which is Kendrick's, like, usually his saving point, right?
Yeah.
So let's go pull up Boogie Down Productions catalog right quick, because this is what I mean. It's like, no, he's not the only guy walking around with like 3 or 4 possible classics. Every other guy on this list is walking around like that. You understand what I'm saying? Every other guy on this list that lived long enough to make classic albums has about 3 or 4 or 5 classics walking around. Rakim got 3, 4 classics walking around. Nas, Jay, Pac, Q, KRS. Like, no, this is part of it. So he's in the discussion, but he's not superseding these guys based on albums when we don't even know if these are better hip hop albums.
I just put the information to the yearbook in the chat and it's pinned to the top.
Listen to the Boogie Down Productions discography. This is not the what's considered his solo discography. And you're right, he's doing 90%, 95% of the rhyming on these 5 albums. This is Criminal Minded, By All Means Necessary, Ghetto Music, The Blueprint of Hip Hop. That's the Ether line.
Yeah.
KRS already made an album called Blueprint. This is why he's saying that. Edutainment, 1990, Sex and Violence, 92. Mike, these are all 4.25s and above. I don't want people to understand that all of these albums are like above 4 mic albums.
And KRS is still putting out quality work and still performing at a high level.
These 5 albums are all above 4 mics, and on a bad day 4. On a bad day, these are 4s. And then you have Return of the Boom Bap. You got the KRS-One album with MCs Act Like They Don't Know and Rappers Are in Danger. And All Yeah off the Panther soundtrack. And you got I Got Next with Step Into the World. Like, come on.
It's hard to put K-Dot over KRS.
Like it's cool to be current, but what's your hip hop history look like? Because putting Kendrick ahead of KRS is saying that these 5 albums aren't as important anymore, and neither are those other 3 albums. He got 8 albums to compare to Kendrick's 5.
And he's still coming out with shit.
He's got more classic hip hop songs, and he dropped a dope album this year.
Yeah, he does have more classic hip hop songs. I mean, my philosophy is more important than any Kendrick record, I believe.
So is The Bridge Is Over.
And so is The Bridge Is Over. I was gonna say South Bronx.
South Bronx, 9mm Goes Bang, Love's Gonna Get You, Jack of Spades, Rappers Are in Danger.
I can't do it. I'm putting KRS there.
Step Into a World, And let's not get into the live performance aspect of this.
No.
Because on this top 10 list, somebody needs to be great live, and he would be that guy too.
This is the thing I'm going to say, and I'm probably going to get hit with all kind of stones. I would put Kendrick over Kane, unfortunately. Now, do I think Kane is nice? Yeah, I can live with that. I can't live with the KRS one. Not yet.
I can't because Kane's catalog just is not even comparable to Kendrick's catalog. Whether we like it or not, Kendrick's catalog is superseding Kane.
And we even saw in that Versus, though, when it was Kane and KRS, like KRS just has so much. And there was a lot of stuff that he didn't do. Okay. So we got right now Pac, Biggie, Nas, Jay, Rakim, Ice Cube, Ghostface, Scarface. That's 8. How do y'all feel about LL Cool J? And I'm scared to ask because LL always gets shitted on. No, let's go Common. Let's rewind.
No, hold on. We got 9, don't we? Hold on.
No, we got
1,
8.
2. Nas, Rakim, J, Big, Pac, Q, Scarface, Ghostface, KRS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 9.
Is it?
Yeah, Nas, Rakim, J, Big. That's 4.
Oh, it is 9. I'm tripping. That's 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nas the GOAT says, is K. Dot the GOAT of this era, in y'all opinion? I think he is.
Yes.
And see, I was on the fence between him and J. Cole, but you know, I think album for album is what it is. Ryan Gillum says, I'm a 28-year-old who was born in 1994, and I would never in my life put KRS over K. Dot.
Okay, but you're 28. Kendrick's 34.
Okay,
right.
I will ask you this, Ryan.
Right, that's your wheelhouse. Just like
who would you put over K. Dot then from a previous era, and why?
Hold on, we just picked. Hold on. First of all, I want people to understand this. As far as the previous era is concerned, we've already got him ahead of Kane and Slick Rick from the 80s. So he's already past Kane and Slick Rick.
I put him ahead of Chuck, and I love Chuck.
He's ahead of Chuck, too. Hold on, you want to know who else he's ahead of? He's ahead of every member of Wu-Tang except for Ghostface.
He's ahead of Kool G Rap, too.
He's ahead of Kool G Rap. He's ahead of Q-Tip, Mike.
Yeah, he is. Q-Tip's my guy.
He's ahead of Prodigy from Mobb Deep. He's ahead of my guy.
Man Ned says KRS and True Master meta historic 2010 super. Jay Short with the super chat as well. It's coming through right now. Jay Short says, hold on 1 second, y'all. Jay Short says, hey, the chat is just moving. My bad. I apologize for that.
Chat popping.
All right, popping today. He says that era argument don't fly. We didn't grow up in the 70s, but we knew that Marvin and Stevie were on another level. We didn't pretend they didn't exist.
Right. Like, hold on. We live in a world where we have literally Michael Jackson and Prince ingrained in our mind, and there is no comeuppance of touching them. And they are literally a generation before us, Mike.
I was never going to tell my dad in the 90s, like, yo, R. Kelly way better than Marvin Gaye. What you talking about?
Because you want to know why? Because that would have been, hold on. Because if you listen to the album and the material, Mike, even the younger you knew that was a damn lie.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The damn lie. It's not the truth.
I hate when they try to compare certain people to Michael Jackson. It's like, man, come on, man. This ain't even right. Like, I understand the excitement and everything, but like I said in the previous show, man, when Michael Eric Dyson got on the Breakfast Club talking about Beyonce's better than Michael Jackson, like, nigga, you are my mom's age. You know better than this. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you grew up on the Jackson 5. Cut it out.
Look, he deserved to be slapped in the elevator again for talking like that.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Come on.
Like, you trying to get a book or something on Beyonce or something? You trying to get exclusives? Jordan House says, where do y'all have Jada ranked in relation to Kendrick? It's funny, we've talked about that on the show before. I think Kendrick's just ahead, in my opinion.
So this is what I will tell you is that, hold on, we're at 9 right now. You want to do this LL thing? Because right after LL, I have Black Thought, Jada Kiss, Redman, Pusha T, Kane, Kool G Rap, DMX, Snoop, Common, Raekwon, like all right there with Kendrick. So
all those people you named, I would be okay with him being ahead of, with the exception of Common, maybe.
I was actually thinking about Kiss and Redman and Black Thought as well. But
Black
let's
Thought's a whole different animal. Let's get to
let's do the
LL.
LL thing. Let's do the LL thing because
Okay.
LL singles are bigger than like Kendrick's catalog. So
I mean, because right now when we talking about Tupac, Biggie, Nas, J, Rakim, Ice Cube, Ghostface, Scarface, KRS-One, and yeah, LL falls right in line with that. What do you guys think? Does Kendrick go ahead of LL Cool J?
listen to what you're saying when you say that.
I mean,
Listen to
I
what you're
don't
saying
think so. I mean, you know. But again, two polar opposites. And I think that when we talk about the dynamic between Busta Rhymes and that whole I got big hits but don't have albums that people hold this high, LL kind of falls in line with that too to a certain extent.
I feel the same way except for one thing, Mike. And here's where Busta suffers. Busta suffers because of somebody like L, because Busta got hits, but the hits not like L's, are they? Who got
Nobody's hits are like L's.
Like L. Yeah. Who got hits like L?
Nobody.
The
closest is J, I guess you would say, but even that I think falls short. Actually, you know what? You're right. It's Pac, and when you said all that stuff about Pac earlier, I was like, well, that formula comes from LL. Being able to make records for the ladies and making some hardcore shit. It was like Pac just took it to another level with the consciousness. Like Pac is a combination of LL, Chuck D, and Ice Cube.
He is.
Ray Rims with the super chat says, "Do you rank Kendrick above Future?"
Stop that.
I don't like talking about Future, man, because it's like it's so hard to really classify him, man. Y'all just want me to call Future James Brown, I'm sure.
Right, that's what they want. It is what they want.
But okay, so LL and Kendrick. Okay, how would you convince somebody of Kendrick's era who just heard Auntie's Diaries, who heard Mother I Sober, who could point out Phil that LL Cool J is ahead of Kendrick Lamar? Where's your evidence when you say evidence?
The evidence is just in the gravity of the shape the game is taking and how he's responsible for it as a solo MC. He's rap's first real big solo superstar. Like he's rap's first big solo superstar. Like Curtis Blow Curtis Blow and Kool Moe Dee are not the stars that LL Cool J is. And Run DMC is a group. You get what I'm saying? NWA, Public Enemy, group. DJ and rapper combos. This guy was a solo act from 1985. So his cultural relevance and significance, he's impacted the game in so many ways, down to how people dress, how people interview, black business. He's the reason Def Jam fucking exists. He's the reason FUBU fucking exists. He's the reason that these rappers even make songs about women. Like no rappers were talking about women in their rhymes until LL Cool J made I Need Love. You can literally go check it. It's like they literally talk about women like it's like an apostrophe in a sentence. You know what I'm saying? And then I Need Love comes out. And then when I mean the influence is heavy on I Need Love, Mahogany pops up a year later from Rakim.
Okay. I think that's
a
great case.
And that's not counting
the hits.
Actual hits. No. The hits are real.
His feature game is really underrated as well.
You want to get to the feature game, but what I was about to say is, can you not still play Jinglin' Baby right now?
Jinglin' Baby's a jam.
You can play Jinglin' Baby right now, can't you?
Yeah. One of my favorite mic performances from him. Man with the super chat says LL is way better than Kendrick in every aspect, no contest. He didn't make albums better than Kendrick. We'll say that.
No. But everything else, look, Kendrick is a better songwriter, lyricist, and album maker. LL checks the rest of the other boxes.
Ryan Gillum says, my mistake. I meant to say I would never put K-Dot over KRS-One. Okay. Cool. And he said he's 28 years old. He would never put K-Dot over KRS-One. It sounds sacrilegious, and I know we sound nostalgic and everything.
No, like real talk. Like when people talk about even the whole versus thing, imagine LL up against Kendrick in a versus. Kendrick would get washed.
Well, people are saying that only old folks are playing Jinglin' Baby like that. Well, that's 10 MCs right there. 10 MCs right there.
Hold on, what about, but this is what I'm saying, the hits are everywhere. What about Loungin'?
Yeah.
What about Hey Lover? What about I Need Love? What about Going Back to Cali, the original version? What about Mama Said Knock You Out? What about Bad? What about Radio? What about Round the Way Girl? What about Love You Better? What about the hip hop stuff with the collabs 4321? I shot remix. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, what about Il Bomb off Funk Flex?
Yeah.
He everywhere. Like the only thing that he doesn't have is like he's comparable to Kendrick in the fact that it's like, well, his best classic album doesn't rank high with the other classic guys' stuff. And Kendrick's, what? You can say that Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City are better than anything LL's ever made. But show me where Kendrick knows how to make records like L, because I just gave you like 10 records that Kendrick can't make on his best day.
I think the verses that we needed was KRS and LL Cool J, honestly.
No. I think we're going to have to end up taking care of that. If we have time, we'll unpack that dynamic as well.
Yeah, definitely. Ray Realms with the super chat says, LL is literally the blueprint. He's the first teenage rap star. And, we don't even look at him like a teenage rap star. He's just like the first superstar, period.
He was 15 years old.
Yeah.
My daughter's 15.
That's crazy.
Look here. You want to know how epic he was? I'm teaching her how to drive. I'm afraid when this nigga pull in the driveway because she don't know what she doing yet. This nigga on stage, like rapping in front of thousands of people, got his whole demo together.
I'm like, only 18, making more than your pops.
Right.
And getting into battles with legends.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a whole nother aspect when you talk about LL in the battle and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Common is the next name I want to come up with.
Okay, so hold on. So by saying Common, you're putting Common ahead of Jadakiss, Black Thought, Pusha T, Cool G Rap, Redman, Snoop, DMX.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. No, I'm just making sure that you're okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Hold on. Somebody put pink cookies in a plastic bag. I love pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by buildings. I love that record.
Booming System. Love that record too.
That's what he got stuff. He got stuff everywhere. Hold on. The original I Shot You without the guest appearances is dope.
Yo, shout out to New Jams with the $60 super chat, man. Good looking.
Appreciate you. Mike, we didn't even bring up Doing It.
Doing It's a classic. It's an all-time great record.
He got all-time great records in every era.
Okay, Common. I think
this is the closest combo in my opinion because Common doesn't have the hits in my opinion, much like Kendrick. So? Not like he has.
I think he got bigger songs than Kendrick. I think The Light is big.
He does. Okay, so we're going to have to start breaking down the albums because I think the album conversation is super close. I think Kendrick's a slightly better MC. I think Common is a slightly better song maker. Mm-hmm. I think Common has him on the hits. Kendrick may have him slightly on the albums. It's super close.
And Common has a better rap voice, I think.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Better rap voice. Who's the better storyteller?
Kendrick is.
Okay.
I think Common has him on the versatility.
Yes. Let's go to the albums right quick because I think the albums are where it's close because I think Kendrick's a better lyricist and writer and song maker, but Common is a better hit maker and MC and has a better voice and delivery, but the albums are comparable.
I see someone saying that Common's music is NyQuil. Okay, that's an argument made too.
Hold on, who just hit that chat? Hold on, what did they say?
I got it. Mad Max with the super chat. Mad Max says, Coop, Kendrick is not a better songwriter, LOL. In the chat violating LL Cool J, once I heard him say that you don't know you just a worker and your boss is my mans. I said LL got it.
No, we just put LL ahead of him. Yeah. That's why we're the comment.
Yeah. LL got him. I think overall, but you were saying that Kendrick is a better songwriter.
Song for song, yes. Like LL knows how to go in and make a better hit than
when
Kendrick.
It's structural, yeah. I got you. I think this Common thing is interesting. We need to unpack this a little bit.
No, I'm with that. I'm with the.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Common's first album. So
Can I Borrow a Dollar ain't really slapping on nothing. But here's what I tell you. Here's where it gets comparable. Well, Common's got Resurrection. Mm-hmm. One Day It All Makes Sense. Like Water for Chocolate. B, and Finding Forever. Now, those are 5 albums that are very comparable to Kendrick's 5 albums, and he's got more material.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is what I mean. And so let's go back to this common conversation that we're having right now. This is what I meant about continuing to do the work, because his catalog is very comparable to Common. Is Good Kid, Mad City, and B not comparable?
Oh, yeah.
It's like Water for Chocolate and To Pimp a Butterfly, not comparable.
Oh, yeah.
It's Damn and Finding Forever. You get what I'm saying? It's like, no, we can go.
I mean, we even went through that whole like Water for Chocolate and To Pimp a Butterfly comparison on this show a couple of months ago. Remember, we went track for track, and it was really surprising. Andre Shashir says, I'm taking Redman over Common. That's okay as an MC, but like album for album and catalog, that's kind of a tough sell, I think.
After 2000, it's going to be tough to sell Redman over Common, just because it's like Redman's bulk of what has him in classic stature is literally everything from 1990 to 2000.
B is another level. Mad Max with another super chat says, LL like if you take J. Cole and the good aspects of Drake and add a little Pac energy and Snoop performance. LL is nice. LL's a lot of combinations of a lot of things, but he's the blueprint of a lot of things too. Hip hop's first soloist, like Coop said, like in the modern form, like how we talk about Rakim is the first modern MC. LL's the first modern hip hop solo superstar. Everybody's in the mode of that guy.
Yeah. Who is it that was saying they used to watch LL's interviews, like to learn how to talk?
Joe said that, I believe.
That's how important he is. It's like he's inspired so many guys in so many ways, down to how to make a song, how to make an interview, how to carry yourself, how to do your business, how to make a hit record. He's made some classic stuff. You know,
he made FUBU.
He made FUBU major. That's great.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think the Common just kind of has too much at this moment, and like you said, he's still going. He has a lot of classic moments.
If their albums catalogs are comparable, and Common has been around longer and done more material and made more hits, and is a comparable MC with a comparable catalog, and is a better guest appearance artist as well, and collabs more with other people, who does the nod go to? That's what I'm saying. Is like, so people need to start being objective about Kendrick. And
so what do you guys think in the chat? Because I'm seeing people saying, stop it. Common ain't over K-Dot. Y'all got Common or Kendrick? But
this is what I'm saying. So Overly Dedicated, Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, and Mr. Morale. Well, no, you can go Resurrection. Or you can go first with Can I Borrow a Dollar? Resurrection. One Day It'll All Make Sense. Like Water for Chocolate. B. Finding Forever. And then you can go pick your favorite from like the other 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 albums that he's done. You get what I'm saying? It's like he's just doing more work. And then there's stuff floating around like 1999, Get 'Em High. You know, there's stuff like that floating out there. The stuff on Late Registration. Remember the verse on Late Registration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On My Way Home. Shout out to Jay Short with the super chat. He said, kids out here with the whole internet and unlimited music acting like they don't know Wu-Tang and other 90s artists.
the freestyle that he did with KRS on Hot 97 is legendary. Him and KRS going back and forth trading bars. Wait, normal when you can trade
Common's
bars.
Done the work.
Hot 97, yeah.
Common's done the work.
I'm not done yet. What about on the Roots albums? You and I Verse at War on Philadelphia Half-Life. What about Love of My Life with Erykah Badu? What about on Things Fall Apart, Act 2, Love of My Life? Like, he's done work.
DeCarlo says Wayne above a lot of these names. Okay. Let's bring Wayne in the conversation.
Thelonious, the track Thelonious was Slim Village.
Thelonious. That's probably my favorite.
And I was just like, this is what I mean about checking boxes.
Yeah. Thelonious is one of my favorite Common songs. It's top 3 for me. Nas the Ghost says, I was born in 1984, and I have K-Dot in my top 10 because I love his content. I only have 3 street rappers in my top 10. That's Jay-Z, Kiss, and Styles P. Didn't expect those.
Okay. Yeah. Kiss is borderline top 10. Styles is borderline top 20. Those are good people to have. I don't think Kendrick is top 10, but like I said, I feel comfortable sliding him somewhere between 10 to 15 still. If
are you putting him ahead of Black Thought still? I think with catalog purposes, we may need to.
So he's not a better MC. here's how thin that line is, and here's how great Black Thought is. Black Thought needs to make an album better than the album Method Man just made.
I think he's going to.
But I think he's about to.
Yeah.
And I think him making a great, like Black Thought making a classic solo rap album changes the narrative on everybody's list. Because it's like he says on the song, No Gold Teeth, what does he say? Who am I? The God of the microphone. Praise the Lord. Any MC disagree with me? Raise your sword. Yeah, who gonna raise their sword?
No one's doing that. You know,
Black
Thought's looking like Luka Doncic right now.
No. I think you mean to say Luka Doncic out here looking like Black Thought. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you know what I mean.
When he said that bar, I thought to myself, I was like, ain't nobody finna raise their hand and ask for that smoke though.
Well, you know what I said about that whole Method Man resurgence, man. I feel like Method Man hadn't been the same since that Sway freestyle where he was sitting up there with Black Thought and he was rapping from his phone and Black Thought went crazy. I think Meth, being the MC and the competitor he is like, yo, I got to get back in the lab.
And this is what I mean when I'm talking about even Black Thought in relationship to Method Man. In Method Man, I hear somebody that if he were to make a classic rap album, we would have a conversation about him as a top 10 MC. If Black Thought makes a classic solo rap album, we're having a conversation about where he is all time, as in, like, okay, so there's that Nas Rakim level album that we've been waiting for to place him there, because literally that's all he's missing in terms of placement. He's got hit records.
Let me get back to Common real quick, and before I lose my train of thought.
He's better bar for bar than Common. He just doesn't have no beer like water for chocolate.
Well, what if someone were to say, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Common does have the first album, Can I Borrow a Dollar, in his catalog. He has Electric Circus, and he also has Universal Mind Control. And this more recent effort. Do these things strike against him?
They do strike against him, but somebody's going to have to strike harder. That's why it's like, well, is it fair to put Kendrick over him when Common is taking the time to make consistent albums and projects to provide us with those missteps, as opposed to somebody that hasn't given us a full-length release in 5 years?
I can agree with that. Okay.
That's fair to Common. Like, it's not fair to knock him on one side and then hold Kendrick up and Kendrick get to disappear for 5 years and get to be top 10. No. That's disrespectful to the work. And you know how we feel about work, right? Like, you should go and, like, do it.
What about Jadakiss?
Like, Kiss and Black Thought are the people that I think of that them making a classic solo album would make me want to maybe slightly put them ahead of Kendrick, because more so Thought than Kiss, because here's what I say. Well, the Roots have classic solo, have classic material. The Locks really don't to me. They have great material, but not classic material. The Roots got classic stuff, Mike.
And I think from a content level, Black Thought shows that he can go there, you know?
Plural. They got classics, plural.
Oh, no, so definitely.
Getting a classic as a solo artist, it's like, no, whole conversation.
No.
But, like I said, any MC disagree with me, raise your sword. Kendrick ain't about to say nothing to that either. Like, you don't want to rap with Black Thought. Don't nobody want to do that shit.
Nobody wants to rap with Black Thought like that. And that's just the honest truth.
Just the honest truth.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like, he's somewhere else with it.
No, I told you, he's the walking standard for bars. Not Rakim, not Nas. Black Thought's the walking standard for bars. If you want to talk about all-time standards for bars, all-time standard for bars, Rakim on Paid in Full and Follow the Leader, Nas on Illmatic and It Was Written. Walking standard, Black Thought. The embodiment of those things.
Okay, the last person that we're going to mention here, and I think that we kind of wrap this segment up, because I know we're getting, like, into the 3-hour realm.
First of all, the Hudson guy saying we're comparing him to guys 40 years in. Black Thought's not 40 years in. That's disrespectful. Stop being shady and sideways with your comments.
Wayne, speaking of 40 years in, a 40-year-old Lil Wayne.
Wayne is so hard to rate.
He is.
Because he's got the hits, and he's got classic material.
I think on the same basis that we go with LL on, it's kind of those things. And he still does have the Carter 2, Carter 3, Carter
Wayne's
1.
catalog is better than LL's catalog album-wise, actually.
Yeah.
And hit-wise, he's not L, but he's made enough hits that he's viable. Nobody's L hit wise.
No.
Except for maybe Pac. But Wayne is one of those people that deserves conversation.
Yeah.
What I would tell you is what hurts him in this MC conversation is the nonsensical rhetoric.
I was just about to say that.
That gets elevated to high-level MCing, because that nonsensical rhetoric that gets portrayed as high-level MCing, well, it doesn't play up against Black Thought and KRS-One and Ghostface and Scarface and Kiss and Kendrick.
No, I agree.
And definitely not against Rakim and Nas and Jay and Big.
S.B. says, what are the boxes? We need multiple lists, I think. Reggie also says, guys, we're going to need a top 25 hip-hop group album catalog list, too. Well, y'all putting us to work with good stuff, though. We'll get that.
We'll do the work.
All right, so I guess from where we're looking at right now, we can get into this more intricately later on, but it looks like Kendrick's not top 10. It's more like top 15-ish. And a lot of that's predicated on some other things. So the people that we have definitively over him, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay, Rakim, Ice Cube, Face, meaning Ghostface, Scarface, KRS-One, LL Cool J, Common. Now, I do think that if we were talking about a living list, then maybe he is.
Yeah, if he's a living list, then you can slide him in, because he would be 10 then, because we'd be sliding 2 people off and sliding him up. Yeah. But here's also what I would submit to you. Well, this is where I had him after he released Damn, and that's why this album isn't a classic. He really hasn't moved. Right.
Okay.
5-year break didn't serve him well. That's what I mean. It's like when Damn came out, I was like, well, this guy is in an argument, in a conversation to be a top 10 MC all time. But here we are 5 years later, and he did nothing with this album to elevate it, because there's nothing about it that superior supersedes the conversation that was happening 5 years ago with Damn, which is he's borderline top 10, which is where he still is. I would probably objectively have him somewhere around 11, 12, or 13. But guess what? That's where I had him 5 years ago. That's why this album is just good, really good, and not great or all-time great, because he really didn't jump up and remove any notches. He just showed where he moved up a level is that he's officially in that canonized group of like all-time great hip-hop writers after this record. He, as a writer, he deserves to be mentioned with Ice Cube and Scarface and Tupac and Nas and Ghostface. Like, he deserves that, but as MC-wise, no.
I'm hearing that in the chat somebody said that I'm giving K-Dot the Steph treatment. I think that, again, and if we want to compare this to Steph,
you've been real rude to Steph. I want to let you know, people in North Carolina.
Listen, man, Steph ain't got no Finals MVPs. Just like Kendrick ain't got the hits like that. Now, he could put on a really great regular season. You know what I'm saying? Put together a really great campaign, just the way Kendrick puts together albums. But where Kendrick lacks is the, I don't want to say the hits, but just the notable songs. Like, if we had more Money Trees from Kendrick, then this would be different. You know what I mean? Did you, I want to get on to the next topic, because I can't wait till our Friday show, because I'm going to watch this game tonight, and you guys better hope y'all win this game tonight. I'm going to be talking hella shit. But anyway, did anybody see the Onyx and the Cypress Hill versus? Carlos says he has 2 MVPs. He has zero Finals MVPs.
Those are regular season MVPs. Hold on. Let me explain this to people. So, like, Steph Curry has more MVPs than Shaq, Kobe, and KD. That don't make him better.
I mean, shit, so does Jokovic. Anyway.
So does Giannis. None of them guys are better than the guys I mentioned.
Yeah. Finals MVPs is when you show who's the most valuable player on the best team, and he hasn't shown that.
No, I took stock out of like the regular season MVP, like one of those years where they gave it to Karl Malone instead of Mike, and then a couple years later,
Malone deserved it that year though.
No, he didn't. And then there was the year that Jason Kidd deserved it over Tim Duncan. I think it was the second year. It's like Jason Kidd deserved that MVP.
The regular season stuff gets real political. Finals MVP
it's like, y'all don't like that Jason Kidd is out here like,
Finals MVP is in your face. Finals MVP is in your face. Now, granted, I think Steph should have won it on their first championship, but the fact that they were able to not give it to him lets you know definitively he wasn't the man in that series like that. Really, they wanted to give it to LeBron. You remember that? The talk was to give it to LeBron even in a losing effort.
That happened to Jerry West, I think.
But they lost like by 1 point in a game 7. Like, it wasn't even one of those situations.
And Bill Russell and Jerry West balling.
Yeah.
First of all,
And not to mention that Deladova was whooping Steph's ass in the first couple of games. So that was a problem.
Kyrie busted that ass for the kneecap, went out too. I want to address a couple things. Mecca and the Soul Brother is a classic, and so is the main ingredient. Steph is not greater than Durant. That's why he had to go crawl to Durant to get to his 3 rings. And I don't hate Kendrick. I just rate him fairly, and I'm not biased. I'm not trapped in the 80s, not trapped in the 90s. I'm trapped on Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly. It's just not as dope hip-hop wise as one. It's not as clear and concise thematically and conception wise as the other. No, Duncan didn't get robbed with no MVP. Jason Kidd got robbed because Jason Kidd like to pimp hoes and slack women up. But whatever.
I want to address this. DeCarlo said the finals MVP is more of a joke when Iggy wins over Curry. Well, tell me another situation where the finals MVP was a joke. Because really they just gave it to Iggy because he was the one that stepped up and defended LeBron. This was about LeBron. This wasn't about Iggy.
I'm about to say, if you want to know the truth.
That's what it was. Give me another situation where somebody got robbed of the NBA Finals MVP.
One of LeBron's greatest accomplishments is actually the fact that 2 guys won MVP because they played solid defense on him, and that's Kawhi and Iggy.
And I think even in that series, LeBron led both teams in every fucking category. What y'all talking about, man?
Literally averaged almost like double the points of Kawhi in that series. And they're like, Kawhi played great defense on LeBron. I'm like, LeBron averaged like a triple-double, dude. There's like 28, 8, and 8. Kawhi averaged 15 points for the series. And they're like, but he played such great defense against LeBron. I was like, oh, okay.
That's all you can do. Ray Williams of the Super Chat says, Steph suffers in an all-time list like Clay suffers on the top 75 list. Loading up with Kevin Durant not only placed the asterisk on his own career, but theirs as well. I think KD didn't care. KD's a made man. He understands what he means on a one-on-one level. If anything, that adds an asterisk to those guys.
That's what I'm saying, because KD is one of those guys all time. When you look at him and how he pulls up, it's like, no, he can beat Mike. He can beat Magic. He can beat Bird. He can beat LeBron, as in one-on-one. Steph's not in that type of conversation. So he know who he is when he pull up. But here's what I tell you. They both have done each other a disservice because they would have 5 and 6 rings respectively had they stayed together. And here's what I'm going to tell you. KD needs to go get him a real point guard. He has yet to play with a real point guard. Russell Westbrook is not a real point guard. Steph Curry is not a real point guard. Kyrie Irving is the worst. All right? He's not a real point guard.
Jay Short says, what's Curry?
When LeBron James don't want you.
Jay Short says, what's Curry's iconic finals moment? Exactly.
No, they're right about all those things. That's more of a testament to KD and LeBron than a knock to Steph. He's not in that stratosphere. He's the next tier.
He's a regular season guy.
The only person that height that's in that stratosphere is Isaiah, okay?
Yeah.
Period. Nobody else is in that stratosphere at that height.
Okay.
Next.
Let's